Hey guys, welcome to this month's Solve Critiques. Remember, there's a Patreon tier where you can get your solves critiqued, and every month I select one person to be featured in a critique video. So let's get started.
8 seconds.
For the first cross here, we have orange done, blue here, and red here. So this is a very simple thing right here, where you're just going to insert them one by one, but the way you did green was not very good. So what you did was insert blue, and then move over. Now you inserted green, going into the back like this. So try to avoid B moves during the cross or just at all, but if you're going to do B moves during the cross, you should usually have it in a way that doesn't involve regrips. So if for some reason your right hand was up here, then that works out well. From here, you actually could do it without a regrip with your left hand, like this. But how I recommend doing this cross solution is just by facing the other side instead. So you still have D moves and L moves, which is fine, instead of D moves and R moves, but then now you have an F turn instead of a B turn. How you orient the cube before you start the cross is very important because it can save on weird moves. So here you could have done L prime, D prime, and then insert green like this. Okay, then a really good thing you did right here, instead of just inserting red, you noticed a pair and took it out, and then inserted red. So to insert this pair here, again, you did the B move thing where you're using your ring finger by regripping, and then you did this, and then did the other ring finger. So for a lot of people when you first start out, doing a lot of regrips in order to avoid rotations seems to make sense because rotations are just this really bad thing you want to avoid. But when I tell you why you should rotate, it'll probably make a lot more sense why you should never do B moves like that. The reason we avoid rotations is because it's a double regrip. And the reason that's better than all those B moves is because count the regrips. That's 4. So try to avoid those completely and just do rotations instead. So next you had this pair. And then here you fumbled around in the U layer for a little bit because this corner doesn't match this edge and the rest of the stuff is over here. So when I get in a situation like this, I personally prefer to pick the corner. So then I'm going to look for its edge. And then what you should do is first look in the top layer because you would have been doing a lot of U moves, so you might know what's there. And then check the front slots, which is just this one. And then check any back slots, which is just this one. So let's just move that over, orange, blue. Immediately you can see in the top layer, nothing here is the orange, blue piece. Then check here, that's not it. So then I will check here and just check for one sticker of it and that's enough. If you still can't tell what this case is, you can move the corner on top here, but then you shouldn't have to rotate in order to figure out what this is. Basically, anytime one back slot is solved, no rotations are necessary to figure out what the case is, even without ever looking at this back sticker. Okay, but what if you use this edge instead? Then we're looking for the corner, and you can quite obviously see the red-green corner is not on any of these spots. Well, just look at one sticker there, and then it's not this one either, so it must be this one. And again, one sticker technically is enough to tell you the case. So in this case, for a back slot corner, you'll either see that it is solved, or you will see that it is white, or you'll see that it's not that, which is the remaining case, which has white on the back. So anyway, you ended up going for this case, and then this case. And for this case, I recommend doing it from the back and not rotating. What you did was you rotated first and then did this. And then instead from the back, what you can do, which is the same number of moves, is just insert the edge or the corner. So I will just show if you insert the corner and then solve this case.
Whole lot of useless AOF.
Next for this cross, you have orange ready to go, and blue is ready to go if you put orange in. So you did that first. I talk about this in my advanced cross tutorial, but you should do these last. Anytime you have super easy pieces, you should deal with the worst pieces first, because the easy pieces usually still are in easy cases after you deal with these, but you have less freedom if you solve these first to deal with what's remaining. So if you were to solve these first, the best way to deal with the remaining pieces is to do L prime. And what that does is it sets green to the right of red. So then you can just insert them each like this, align the cross, green, red. And then what you did instead was deal with these pieces one at a time. And you did L prime, U, L to take out red. That last L is unnecessary and in fact bad in this case because it sets green from a better spot to a worse spot. You then inserted red with B2 and then took out green. So in this case, still there's a better way to continue on. If you were in this case, what you should do is misalign the cross and then attach this to the center. And then you can put it all back. What you did instead was take out green like that. Okay, so a better way to do this cross is since you're going to be turning orange to make blue better, you can do the same thing for green. So what we can do, the idea is set green underneath orange, and then these will all go in a lot more easily. So then I can insert green like that on the way into inserting orange, and then put blue in. Now red is here, I can just misalign the cross, put in red, and do that. And then the best way to do the cross is to put in red first before doing all that. So if I do red like this, then putting these all here has red here already solved. So then I can just do what I said there. Okay, now moving on to the solve, what you did first was this pair them up like that, and then this pair comes out, insert it. And then what you did was you rotated here to insert it in here, which is interesting because for some reason in the last solve you did something like this. In general, you want to rotate to insert into a back slot. In this case, it doesn't make a difference because either way you have one unsolved front slot. But just as a general habit, you should be rotating so it's in the back. So you rotated this way, you had this, and then you fumbled around in the top layer for a bit to find this, and then pair them up, inserted into here. And then for this pair, what you did was you inserted the corner first. So maybe that tells me you don't actually know how to pair this up. And how you do it is by putting it here, and then you move the corner over the edge like this. And that gets them paired up. So you inserted the corner and then did this case. All right, then one thing I want to note about how you did the last layer here, just the first part of OLL. So you weren't using full OLL, which meant the first thing you did was orient all the edges. And most people would do something like this, but you're doing the cooler thing, which is this. And it's longer, but the reason it's cooler is because all the corners still end up in the same spot. And the whole point of this is so that once you do that algorithm, you don't have to take another look at your corners. The corners are the same as they were earlier. So as you can see, this was the original OLL, the corners were here, and then they're still there. But I think what you did afterwards was you moved the top layer around to looking at the corners. So remember, if you use this method for the first look of OLL, you should take a look at the corners before you get to this step. That's the reason why this is faster. All right, and then OLL, and then PLL. Okay, I have a lot to say about the solve because as I was watching it, I wish I got my reaction. I was laughing because you were doing some crazy stuff. Some things I wondered why you did it, and then turns out I don't think you knew it was going to happen, but some really good stuff happened. Okay, but back to business. Looking at the cross, here orange is already done, and the first thing you did again was you aligned it to the right spot, which means you solved orange, and then you went ahead and solved blue, but that put green and red in very bad spots. And yes, I have 2 videos about the cross. In my other video, I talk about how you shouldn't focus on the centers. You should use the centers to tell you where the pieces belong, but don't actually align them to the right spots until the end. In this case, this is a very easy cross solution, which is since orange is here, we will just put red on the opposite side. So when you put red in here, green and blue magically align. And then you can just align the cross afterwards. So anyway, what you ended up doing was align orange, put blue in here, and then you did a U2, I'm not sure why. And then you put red in like this, and then this one. Okay, then you have this and this. When you have a solved corner or solved edge, what you should normally do if there are other unsolved slots at all is keyhole. So how that works is you're going to misalign the D layer so that this is out of that slot and insert the correct edge and put this back. So the edge is here and you can insert it like this and then put this back. So that's only 5 moves. Instead, you did this the normal beginner method way like this. And then you had this pair. So you insert it here. And keep in mind, you should rotate so that it goes into a back slot, because right now, if you have both back slots filled, that's really good for finding pieces because everything's in the front. Next, you have this one, and before I show how you did it, I just want to say what I would normally do here. Either put it in the back and do sledgehammer like this, and then insert, or pair it up and take it out this way, and then just insert like this. What you did was R U2, R prime U2, and then you inserted it. Magic, this pair is now made. And then instead of inserting this pair like that and getting an OLL you don't know, for some reason, I have no clue why you did this, but you added an RU2 R prime right here. And when I saw this, I was amazed because even I am not smart enough to come up with this. Then you inserted this and you got an OLL you did know. And then here A perm, but misaligned by a U prime. And this is the harder AUF, but you should know how to do it. So after the A perm, what you did right before the R2 was you regripped to do U prime. But instead, once you're really fast, that regrip is going to cause a lot of mistakes and just be slower. So instead from here, you should align your index finger right here. So you do R2 and then push back like that. And faster, that would look like this. So I talked about finger tricks enough to well how you should avoid doing B moves because they are just extra regrips, more regrips in fact than an entire cube rotation. But there's also a smaller type of regrip that is important to avoid going forward, and that is when you regrip your thumb to the bottom. Almost every F12 case should not have your thumb regrip to the bottom, and for the back slots it's okay to have your thumbs regrip to the top sometimes. But for example, for something like this, you should do one of two finger tricks here. To do R prime, you either start with R like this and then use your index finger like that, or R and use your other finger here to push, and then R prime. And of course you have to know how to do this with your left hand as well. So for example, this pair. And then for cases where you want to do U2, for example, this one, instead of doing it like this, you can always just do U2 with your other hand. So you can start without a regrip and do U2 like this. I talk about this and more in my finger tricks tutorial. So besides that, I also talked about implementing keyhole, which is when you have a corner solved and you want to insert the edge, you just misalign this layer to grab an unsolved slot, insert that, and undo. And then there's also the habit of inserting into back slots when you have to rotate. So something like this, rotate this way and insert into a back slot. That way, anything you have to look at next is either the front slot or the top. So yeah, work on these habits until you're maybe around sub 20 to sub 15, and then that's a good time to start working on look ahead, but don't worry about it yet. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.